Hello students, this is Miss Dalton and this is the section on odds in favor or odds against something happening when having to do with probability. So first of all, it's important for you to understand the difference between probability and odds. When we talk about the probability of something happening, we take the number of outcomes of the event happening divided by the total number of possible outcomes. So probability is usually written as a fraction or a decimal. When we look at odds, we're looking at it's more of like a ratio. So it's like the ratio of an event happening, that would be the odds in favor, and the ratio of an event not happening is the odds against. So for example, if the probability of the event occurring is 0.80, then the odds are 0.80 divided by 1 minus 0.80. So that would be 0.80 divided by 0.20, which is 4-to-1 odds. So you would simplify that fraction and then it would be 4-to-1. So that's the odds of in favor of it happening. If we wanted to do the odds against, it's just the reverse of that. So then we would say that the odds against that event happening, we would switch the 4-to-1, and so odds against would just be 1-to-4. So let's look at this example. It says, in her wallet, Annie Kelly has 12 bills. 6 of them are dollar bills, 2 of them are $5 bills, 3 of them are $10 bills, and 1 is a $20 bill. She passes a volunteer seeking donations for the Salvation Army, and she decides to select one bill at random from her wallet and give it to the Salvation Army. What is the probability that she selects a $5 bill? Well, she has 2 $5 bills, and she has a total of 12 bills. So the probability would just be 2 over 12, which simplifies down to 1 over 6. So she has 1 over 6 probability. What is the probability that she does not select a $5 bill? Well, if there were 2 that were $5 bills, then the total that are not $5 bills is 10 out of 12. And so that would be 5 over 6. So then now, taking that formula for odds in favor, you take the probability of it happening, 1 out of 6, and you divide it by the probability of it not happening, 5 out of 6. And what happens is this 6 cancels out. So you have a 1-to-5 odds. Then the odds against her selecting a $5 bill would be that in reverse. So it would be 5-to-1 odds. Okay, so looking at this next example, for the event Pn, given the base 10 digits 0, 1, 2, all the way up to 9, randomly choose a prime number digit. Find the probability of choosing the prime number. So the prime numbers from 0 to 9 are 2, 3, 5, and 7. So there's a 4 out of 10 probability, which reduces down to 2 out of 5. If you wanted to write that as a decimal, that would be a 0.4 probability. Now, the odds in favor, so the odds in favor are always the probability of it happening divided by the probability of it not happening, which would be that 3 out of 5. So the odds in favor are 2 to 3 odds. And then the odds against would be 3 to 2. Again, you want to make sure that you understand the difference between probability and odds. Probability is usually written as a decimal or as a percentage. It can also be written as a fraction, but a lot of the times it's written as a decimal. Odds are typically written as ratios, such as 2 to 1 or 2:1. You can write it both ways. So let's say you have an example where they give you the odds and they want you to convert it back to the probability. So in this example, we have a horse winning a race. The odds against the horse, Costly Colt, winning a race are 5 to 2. What is the probability that Costly Colt will win the race? So if you remember, when we calculated the odds for and against, we took that probability and the denominator, which was the total, canceled out. So we need to go back and write what our total is. So to go from odds to probability, you want to add them together, and that gives you your total. So if I have a 5 to 2 odds, then that means the total, 5 plus 2, is 7. So this number represents your total, which is always going to be your denominator when you convert it back to a probability. And so the odds against, because since that's what it started with, is 5. You do 5 divided by the total, so the probability is 5 to 7. And then the probability of it happening, so the probability of for the horse, is 2 to 7. Okay, this last slide has some examples that you can work on. If you want to do numbers 1 through 8, make sure that you can do those. And then also numbers 27 through 37 odd. When you get down to the bottom, 33, 35, and 37, you can use the chart that's on this next slide to help you out. Here's the chart that can help you on those last 3 problems.